Good morning, everyone, and you're very welcome to our launch event of our Engineering Virtual Career Series here in Dundalk Institute of Technology. And I'm delighted to be joined this morning by PM Group, who are going to take us through their company and the graduate and placement opportunities that are available with them. We're joined this morning by Michelle O'Hagan, who is the graduate recruitment lead, and from Marius Tubelovic, who is an electrical engineer. Just to let everybody know, as with all of the events as part of this virtual career series, we really want you to get involved as much as possible. So do pop any questions or comments you have into the chat or questions function, and we'll deal with those questions at the end when we've got about 5 or 10 minutes for a Q&A at that stage. But without further ado, I'm going to hand over to Michelle, who's going to take you through the presentation. Thanks, Michelle.
Thank you, Catherine. Good morning, everybody. We're delighted to be here representing PM Group this morning. As Catherine said, we want the session to be as interactive as possible, so please populate any questions you have. There's no question too silly or anything like that. We're here to answer, so make sure you use this time to the best of your ability. So to get started, I guess, just to give you an introduction, as Catherine rightly mentioned, my name is Michelle O'Hagan, and I'm the graduate recruitment lead for PM Group. So I support all the hiring managers across 25 plus disciplines. So we actively recruit across engineering, construction, architecture, and project management. So anybody coming from a STEM background, hopefully there will be opportunities here that will be relevant to you, and hopefully after our presentation you'll have a more of an interest and hopefully join us over the coming years. So just to get started, and then I've got Marius with me as well. So
Hello, everyone.
He's one of our current graduates, and Marius, during the presentation, is just going to give you an insight into his experience so far with PM Group as well. So to get started, so first off, who we are and what we do. So PM Group is a project delivery firm, okay? And we're an international project delivery firm managing the design and commissioning of complex projects across the globe. So we have we have offices in 12 different locations. And with that, we also have clients based in various locations across the world. So if you are interested in travel, there is going to be endless opportunities within PM Group to travel. We are experts in project management, process design, facility design, and construction management. So that's where our expertise lie. And ideally, when we are hiring candidates, that's where we look for. We look for people that are really interested in any one of those 4 areas. So our mission, one thing that I guess stands out for us, and it's a unique selling point in comparison to other companies and maybe companies that you'll hear from later, is the fact that we are 100% employee owned. And for those of you that don't know what that means, it's basically that all employees have the opportunity to buy shares in the company. So we really have a sense of belonging and a sense of being a part of the company. So we're masters of our own destiny in one sense. What we put in, we get out. We innovate to deliver critical facilities with our partners, and we work very closely with tier 1 clients on projects that will hopefully improve everyday lives across the globe. We've got a few examples of projects that we've worked on, and it will give you a true insight to what you could potentially be working on if you were to join us. So our values, so this slide is actually probably one of the most important slides throughout the whole presentation. Reason being is our values is what we assess our candidates on when they come for interview. So our assessment is based around our 5 values, and an easy way to remember the values is the word EPIC, so EPIIC, so an extra I in there. But for expertise, so our expertise are the people and the foundation to make sure that we are a success in what we do. But when you're coming for interview, what we're looking for students to be really highlighting during their interview is what you've done in university in terms of your modules that are transferable skills into the position that you're applying for. So be it an electrical engineer, is it your calculations? If you're coming from a process background, is it your P&IDs? Being able to, again, do calculations as well is really important. But just making sure you're really highlighting where you feel your strengths lie. Then when it comes to partnership, we partner with our clients, our colleagues, and we've mutual respect throughout all our stakeholders. And with that, during the interview, what we're looking for from students here is your teamwork aspect. Okay, so I know a lot of you would have done group work within university. So getting across what was your role during that group activity, what was your responsibilities, And that's really important to remember when we are talking about partnership, being able to deal with conflict, or if somebody is having an off day, how you intervene to get them back up and get them on the project and keep them motivated. So those are the types of things we're looking for there. And then when it comes to inclusion, we're within the company, we respect everybody. And one thing about PM Group, and you'll find this if you were to join us from very early on, it's a flat management structure within the firm, which means that it's an open door policy. So if you have any questions, be it if you wanted to speak to the operations manager for the Dublin site, you can drop him a message and he will respond to you, no problem. And even our graduates, our interns are all treated equally, as would be in comparison to our MDs. Everybody's treated at the same level in terms of respect. And what we're looking for there is you to bring that into your interview as well, that you understand the importance of people's values and people's respect as well. Then when it comes to integrity, we operate the highest ethical, sustainable standards, and we adhere to best practice at all times. And I'm sure you are well schooled in the importance of health and safety throughout your course. It is paramount, especially to the industry that you will all come out and work in. So this is something that's really important to PM Group, and getting that across during the interview is one aspect that I would say, do not go into an interview with us without mentioning the importance of health and safety. So get it across that you've done modules in your course, or that you understand the importance of it, and that will really bode well. And then finally, the commitment. So successful projects require huge levels of commitment, and it's our people that we look that commitment for. So again, when you are interviewing for us, and we fully understand students are interviewing with a variety of companies, you're keeping your options open, but make sure when you're interviewing with us that you have really tailored your information. You've researched PM Group and you know exactly what we do and who we are. So from that, what you need to do also is just highlight how you really want to work for us, so we know that you are committed to joining PM Group rather than another firm. Okay, so that slide is very important for when you are interviewing with us. Then just some key facts about us, because we are aware that PM Group isn't probably one of those household names that stand out in comparison to some of our competitors, but we are on a massive scale in what we do. So in terms of our personnel, slightly smaller than some of the engineering firms that you're familiar with, but we have 3,360. Actually, we got an update this week, and we are growing significantly. So this year we've made a commitment that we're going to be hiring 150 graduates, with the likelihood of that increase into 180 graduates, and that's across a wide range of disciplines. So there's so many opportunities for all of you folk, if you are interested in joining us. We're based in 12 countries. Our average revenue, so this just shows the extent in terms of the projects we work on, is 400 million. We're 48 years in business, so a really exciting time to join, because you'll be joining us, I'm assuming everybody's finishing next year, so with 49 years, and then we will have a massive celebration when we reach that 50 mark. So it would be fantastic to be a part of that. We invest annually 4 million in development and innovation. So it's really important that we keep up to times with our competitors, with technology, and making sure that we are advancing and be industry leaders when it comes to our innovation. And if you check out our website or our Instagram page, you will see some of the technology that we are currently using on some of our sites in terms of augmented reality. I'm sure some of you have seen some clips even during your course, where you're able to visualize a site being built before it even starts, and it's just a matter of working on a laptop, being able to implement the different stages and see sight lines, etc. Really fascinating stuff. And then again, as I've touched on, the employee-owned aspect as well. And some of our top clients, so this, we don't tell a lie when we say we work with tier 1 clients. And one thing to note as well, our partnership with our clients is extensive. We have repeat business with the top clients in the world. If you look at the top line there, you've got your pharmaceuticals, and you will all be very familiar with the names above because of the current pandemic that we're in. So we worked very closely with our clients in terms of building the vaccination centres to ensure that all of us were able to get vaccinated during the pandemic. So that's a real reason why we've been so busy over the last number of years. And then we're also in the food and beverages, mission critical, advanced manufacturing sectors as well. So the likes of your data centers with Facebook, and there's a few names that we can't name due to confidential reasons. So this is just some of our portfolio, but we have a lots more that if you were to join, you'd find out who they are. But that's just to give you an insight into some of the clients you could potentially be working for if you were to join us. Then our world office networks. So this is where we're based across the world. As I said, these are where our offices are based, but we have clients elsewhere. So there is endless opportunities. So we're in Belgium, China, Germany, India, Ireland, Poland, Singapore, Switzerland, the UK, and the US. So if traveling is something you're interested in, during your interview, make sure you mention that, because we have a lot, especially there's a lot of work happening in the DACH region. So again, if you're coming in with an additional language, make sure you mention that as well, because the languages are always something that will be an advantage during an interview. So anybody that speaks German, it's hot off the market at the minute in terms of getting graduates from an engineering background with German. In our sectors, so as I've touched on, we're in the pharmaceutical, food and beverage, medical technologies, mission critical, and advanced manufacturing. And one thing just to note on this slide, the beauty about PM Group is that as a graduate, you're still finding your feet. You're still finding, okay, is this the industry I want to work in? With us, you are going to get exposure to every single one of these industries over your time with PM Group. So you're going to work on a pharmaceutical project. You may be working on a mission critical project throughout your 2 years on the graduate program. So you're really going to see, okay, is one sector where I want to focus my attention on, or am I really interested in having that exposure to changing things up to keep the interest levels up there as well. So that's something that we offer that you won't find with a lot of other companies, because other companies will specialize in one area. So just bear that in mind. It's a really good way of finding your feet when you first start your career. Then an accolade that we're very proud of. So we have been ranked. So ENR is one of the top engineering rankings that you can get. So any engineering firms, I'm sure you're all familiar with the rankings anyways from your course, but we have been ranked as within the top 100 of the international design firms. We're number 4 in the food and beverages, and we're in the top 10 for data centers as well. So that again just shows the extent in terms of our skill set and expertise. So just to give you an insight into some of the projects, because it's always useful, it's, when people's talking at you to actually see where you could be working and what you could be working on. So this is one of our campuses that we built. So this was a large scale cell cultural biologics manufacturing campus that we built for Alexion. So Alexion, again, is a pharmaceutical client of ours. And as you can see, the scale of the campus there, and we built that from the ground up. So again, from conception through to completion as well. Then another project that we've worked on, again, another cultural biologics manufacturing plant, and this was for Janssen Science, and this was in Cork. So again, a really massive campus and scale of project. And just to draw your attention to the value of that project was 315 million. So that just shows you are not going to be working on these small projects. You are working on huge projects that the value of them are extensive. So you can imagine the complexity that comes with that during those projects as well. And then finally, another bulk biologics manufacturing facility. So this was for Sanofi. And again, just to draw your attention to the location of this plant, and this was in Belgium. So again, just highlighting that international scope and opportunities for you there as well. So then on to the next graduate program. So this is probably what's really important and what you're mostly interested in finding out about. So our program, you'll have the opportunity to challenge your skill set, the opportunity to further learn through our on-site training program. And then where we say play, that's the social aspect, which is really important to our graduates. So in the graduate program, you will have the opportunity to grow. So the graduate program is a 2-year program. And with that, you will go through a range of modules throughout those 2 years. And the training usually takes place the last Friday of every month. And that's where you'll meet with your cohort of graduates. So be it if you come into Dublin, Cork, or one of our other locations, you'll be coming in with your group of graduates that you joined with. So this year we have close to 50 graduates in Dublin, similar in Cork. So you can imagine from day one, your network of colleagues is going to be extensive. The opportunity in terms of learning and development. So learning and development is really important. And we understanding that continuous learning and development is important as well. So we provide on-the-job mentoring, internal and external training courses. And just the pointed below, professional status. So we understand, especially coming from an engineering background, that a lot of graduates want to get their chartership, and that's something that we really encourage students to do so. So what we would suggest here is normally after 5 years being within the company, because you need to build up your industry knowledge and get your training, etc. And PM Group will financially support you through your chartership, provide you with study leave, and will also provide you with a mentor as well. And I know Marius is going to touch base a bit more on the professional status in a few moments. Then a variety of experience. So as I've mentioned, we're across 5 different sectors, and you will get exposure to all those sectors. And in terms of the clients we work with, the experience is going to be endless, and the exposure there also. The international opportunities, and again, then just the graduate network. So we're conscious that there's a lot of training, there's a lot of projects that you're going to be doing, but we understand the importance to have fun as well. So our graduates would be involved in a lot of our charity events, and we do bites and pints usually on a Thursday. Pre-COVID it was done in person, but we've done a lot of virtual events over COVID as well to keep that relationship up in terms of switching off after work, where we've done Zoom parties and different things. But I know a few of the graduates are excuse me, are arranging a hike up one of the biggest mountains in Ireland. They've done bowling and different things. So, and again, then the graduates obviously make friends throughout the graduate program. So they do their own thing at the weekends with each other as well. And again, if you are relocating, because I understand a lot of people will be, maybe especially attending DKIT, you're traveling from all over Ireland to probably go to DKIT. So relocating to maybe Cork or Dublin, we support that as well in terms of letting the graduates know if other graduates need accommodation, and you kind of link up with each other to sort that out. So just to bear that in mind. So then, as I mentioned, it's a 2-year program, and it runs in parallel with your job. So you are on a permanent contract from day one. And that's one thing that I just want to, just for your own reference, not necessarily related to PM Group, no matter who you go to work for, make sure that you find out if you're on a permanent contract, because especially within the engineering sector, a lot of companies will have a graduate program, but after the 2 years, you have to re-interview, and there could be 5 graduates in only 1 position. So just be mindful of that for your own reference. But with us, you're permanent from day one, and after the 2 years, you transfer into the business, and that's where you really kickstart your career progression. Our training targets all the core competencies with the engineering disciplinaries, and we cover the soft skills as well, the likes of presentation skills, communication, contractual awareness, all of that stuff that maybe you've covered in university, but this is bringing it up to speed to industry level, and to make sure you're confident in going out and speaking to clients and representing the company to the best of your ability. You will get exposure to project teams, and you'll be interacting with a variety, be it electrical, you'll be interacting with mechanical, piping, architecture, CQV, process, because every single one of those departments work on the same projects. And again, site visits. So we have mandatory site placements within the program. So you will, the site mandatory placement is minimum 6 months, but sometimes that varies depending on the project that you're assigned to. And again, if you're enjoying it as well, we'll take your preferences into consideration there also. But it's a really good way of being able to put the theory into practice. You'll also be assigned a dedicated mentor to the program, and this is a person that has come through the program previously that is able to support you, guide you. And we all join, even when you joined university, you would have questions that you feel are maybe a bit silly to ask your manager or to ask the lecturer, and being able to turn around to a colleague and them to be, have no problem in answering, it just kind of makes it a bit more comfortable for the graduates joining. And then just going to hand over now to Marius. I'm conscious I've talked a lot. So Marius is going to talk through his experience to date. Thank you.
So hello everyone. If you could move the slide, please, Michelle. Thank you. So hello everyone, my name is Marius, and I'm electrical design graduate at PM Group. I came here to describe my professional career journey and share some of my experience while working for PM Group. I have joined the next graduate program in 2020 and currently moving forward to the 2nd year of it. But before I start here, you can see some of my facts about me. So I'm able to speak 5 languages. I enjoy public speaking, participated in European Engineers Week. Also some of my hobbies and my work experience. I had internship at ESB and also electrical next graduate program. Yeah, you can move the next slide, please.
Sorry, it's just a wee bit delayed.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
So here you can see some projects I have participated in. So GPOR 3.1 project, mainly I was participated in general services, single line diagrams, and Revit work. Also GBL 4A, which was lighting design, distribution schedules, security, and fire alarm. And the MSD Kylo, that was one of the most recent projects I have participated in. So PM Group have been requested to facilitate the new installation of terminal sterilization autoclave within the MSD Kylo manufacturing facility. Just for your own information, an autoclave is a machine which is used in medical and laboratory settings to sterilize lab equipment and waste. So the existing manual component inspection room was modified to form a clean, non-classified grade D area, which hosted the new autoclave device. So the project consisted of new lighting design. We had to replace old luminaires with new ones. The reason for this is that the old luminaires would have an adverse impact on the items that would be produced in that new room due to the lux levels and type of light formed. So the new luminaires were chosen to meet the new clean room grade D standards. Another interesting aspect of this project was the containment. As this was an existing room, it was important to have a minimal impact on the existing services. So I have personally had to use Navisworks and Revit to simulate the design and try to avoid potential clashes with other services and disciplines. As part of the design, I had to visit the MSD Kylo facility to meet the subcontractors and come up with the optimal solutions for certain problems we had during the design. So this was really personally interesting to actually go to the site and see the building and how everything works. So finally, also as part of this project, I had to do some documentation. It was very interesting as it was one of my first experience documenting the project from BOD, basis of design, to IFC issued for construction. And yeah, I also have visited Grifols. This was a site visit due to cause and effect matrix. I had to witness it. This was very interesting to actually see how the fire alarm systems work in sequence. Also, our culture and people are amazing. Everyone is very helpful. The coffee breaks are always fun. Expertise in the company is amazing. You learn every day. Also, if you could move to the next slide, please. So here you can see some of the electrical department deliverables. As you can see, lighting, emergency lighting design. So that would be the real life scenario of the project. Also, small power and services.
I think you're.
Sorry about that.
No problem.
Cable management systems, lighting protection systems, public address, electrical MCC, door access, interlock, fire alarm systems. Could you move to the next slide, please? So this slide describes how you as electrical engineer would see the various electrical systems before they're actually built. These layer drawings outline the necessary information about the project, which are then sent to contractors, subcontractors, builders are actually built. So before anything is built, this is how your drawings would look like. So you can see on the left, lighting layout drawings, small power, fire alarm, door access, interlock, and SLDs and containment. You could move to the next slide, please. Also, these are the common software packages utilized by electrical design engineers. So this is important for students to keep in mind and maybe practice on your free time, such as MicroStation, Dialux, Revit. Revit is one of the most important ones, AutoCAD and Amtech, and also there's much more to it. Many other programs that we use. So my experience at PM Group, so development, technical, not technical skills were greatly improved in 1 year I'm in PM Group, as as I'm working within the multidiscipline company. I can learn from mechanical engineers, civil engineers, architects at the same time. So training is very good. Almost every month we have some kind of training. Could be personal, technical skills. There's every variety. So also improved networking. I met many graduates. This will be beneficial in the future. Also, I was actually started working a year ago, and I'm continuously working remotely due to COVID-19. This was personally positive for me, as I'm more productive and my work-life balance greatly improved. Yeah, next slide, please. Also, there are some tips and suggestions while you're working remotely. If you're working remotely, so it's important to have a time audit, good schedule, exercise, scheduled breaks, dedicated office space, and also invest in your broadband and use VPN. Yeah. So these are my career goals. It's important to have your career goals set out for future to see the milestones. So first step is to finish the next graduate program. Second is to become a junior engineer. Third is to start master's degree. PM Group has a policy of lifelong learning and runs an educational assistance scheme which supports employees who wish to further their formal education. So this is very good when you work for this company. It allows you to actually study further and improve you as personally. And at the end, start the journey to become a chartered engineer. Yeah, that's me there. Thank you. Thank you for listening.
Perfect. Thank you, Marius.
No
Really
problem.
comprehensive overview there.
Thank you.
And then just before we finish off, just to highlight some of our CSR, which is something that's really important to us in terms of the charity work we do. So that's just some images of some of our employees and graduates that have got involved. And we would encourage our graduates to get involved as well from very early on with our charity networks and our CSR partners. Also, I would recommend for all the students on the call, if you could give pmgroup.life a follow on Instagram, if you are active on Instagram. We will be uploading daily hints and tips on our application process, our interview process, and any relevant jobs or any new jobs that we have live. They'll all go up on our newsfeed as well on Instagram. So it's a really good way to keep up to date with the company. And then finally, in terms of the application process, our applications are all open at the moment, and it's a really simple application. You click on the link to our website, filter down. I see some people are asking about civil and electrical, mechanical, etc. on our chat. Filter whichever role you feel you're mostly suitable to, and then apply to that position. It's a matter of uploading your CV and cover letter. And that's it. It's really straightforward. And the interview process is a one-stage interview process. For mechanical, it's two-stage in Dublin, okay? But for majority of the other departments, it's a one-stage interview process, competency-based, focused around our values. And then the technical aspect is more around your projects and your skill set that you've picked up in university. But just thank you so much for listening. And if anybody has any questions, feel free to ask. I think I've been answering some of them in the chat there throughout the presentation, but thank you so much.
Thank you, Michelle, and thank you, Marius, for a really thorough overview and a really strong insight into the culture, the activity, and the extensive nature of the experience if you are successful in getting a place on the graduate programs. So yes, there's been great interaction on the chat and questions function from lecturers and from students alike in terms of more interest in PM Group coming on campus when that is allowed. And I think, Michelle, you're very, very much open to that.
Yeah.
Some questions coming through in terms of opportunities within civil, as you said, mechanical, electrical, but we know that we're inviting you back and you're going to participate at the lunchtime event on Mondays, which is focusing on the built environment, which will have that focus on building surveying, architectural technology, construction management as well. So we're welcoming those who are on this again to tune in and register, and they can watch this on demand. So just to deal with that as well. Marius, you have taken us through your experiences, and especially that idea of working remotely during that time frame, and gave a lovely slide and tip, which we all should nearly take on board around managing our times and that side of things. You were in these students' shoes not too long ago. In terms of the one piece of everything that you've shown us that you think is important right now in October before they start applying to a lot of different places, what's the one thing that you think has been beneficial to you or that you would advise students to do?
Definitely do extensive research before you actually apply in the company. Spend a week or two even learning the mission of the company, the projects they do, and try your best and really do your research before you apply. That's the main thing, I think.
Great. So that research, and that's coming through as a real strong theme across all of our series, that research, not the scattergun effect, but actually going in
Yeah.
and doing your research on particular companies. So that's a really good piece of advice, and maybe following yourselves on your social media, as you're saying, Michelle, to give hints and tips around that side of things also.
Yeah, and just one thing, Catherine, I've just seen a message. I was trying to type there quickly, just conscious of time. Liam has asked the question in terms of not having relevant experience to the industry, but has experience in hospitality, etc. That is still relevant, because to get that job, someone had to trust you. You has to have customer service, good communication skills. But one thing to make sure your CV stands out, just to try and improve it slightly, is really emphasize your projects that you've done in university, because that's what managers want to see. We understand students aren't going to have endless experience. We understand you're only starting your career. So it's not, obviously having experience is an advantage, but it's not a necessity. But just highlight your projects and your skill set more so there. Liam, thank you.
Okay, really good point, Michelle, and thanks for picking up on that. That's a really important aspect, the project work. But sometimes students tend to, or graduates tend to, leave out of the CV is a really important aspect of how you can connect your studies and your practical experience to the workplace. So really good tips there. Michelle, Marius, you have covered an awful lot in the 30-minute slot that we've given you. Thanks for speeding through that and for whetting the appetite of DKT students. And Marius, thanks again for your time and for being honest around your experiences and sharing that with us as well. What we will do is, this is going out on demand to all students following this being over, and I'm going to encourage students to look back on it, as well as welcoming you back for the Built Environment Day on Monday. So thanks very much, Michelle and Marius, and thanks for everybody for tuning in.
Thank you, Catherine.
Thank you.